I'm Sue Lincoln. I'm the HR Director for Lloyds TSB Auto Lease. What the HR Director role is, essentially I work with the board here looking at what we can do in terms of supporting our people development activities, making sure we've got the right plans in place in terms of recruitment, turnover, how we progress our people, and also looking at kind of what we give our people in terms of development once they're here. I think there will always be kind of the bread and butter HR activities, so things like dealing with downsizing of companies and kind of how you kind of manage that in the most effective way. And I think, you're right, I think traditionally HR has been seen as maybe kind of the troubleshooting place where you'd come to and sort out, a mess that had been created by an employee or a manager. Actually, it's much more now about this kind of getting the right solutions for the business that are also going to keep the staff engaged and motivated. I don't think it's so much of an intermediary role before. I think probably kind of there was a traditional personnel element that existed before that probably would act as that conduit, if you like. I think the HR role has evolved slightly, and where I'd say that there's much more direct interaction between directors and their staff, and actually the HR function has spent a lot of time consciously kind of coaching managers to be really good line managers so that we can step away from that traditional day-to-day activity and focus a bit more on kind of the bigger picture stuff. I think you need to be resilient. You have to be pretty open to things changing quickly. So, as the environment is changing, we're seeing business change all the time. You have to be prepared to kind of drop one thing and start another. And I think, there's an element of you need to be kind of prepared to take some of the difficult decisions as well. For HR, there's kind of the traditional Chartered Institute of Personnel Development, so CIPD, is the recognised professional qualification. I think as well, for me, there's a lot of practical application. If you can be sensible, if you can be pragmatic, if you can work your way through some knotty issues, actually it kind of stands you in good stead for taking on an HR role. It's not the same thing day after day. Because it involves people, there's inevitably different issues come up every day. I think it's the fact that you sit with the board as well, having those discussions about business, so you haven't just got your HR hat on, you've actually got a business hat on as well, and the fact that you're probably one of the few kind of people that has a view across the whole business of what's going on. I think if you're going to be successful, you have to understand kind of what makes the business successful, because if you come up with the latest kind of HR idea that isn't actually going to be relevant to the business, then you won't have any credibility. So it is about understanding what's actually going to make a difference to the business that you're supporting. I never thought I'd end up in HR. I thought I'd end up being a bank person through and through. That's kind of where I started life a few years ago, and I thought that's where I'd stay, but an opportunity came along and I've been in HR for about 9 years now and I love it.